I kept the same intro because I think it's one of the best title cards in video games. It's just so epic. Okay, so I really like Ghost of Tsushima. It is a great open world game that actually makes you want to explore the whole island of Tsushima. The area, I believe, was the perfect size, as it wasn't as intimidating as other games and actually encourages you to explore. This has been the problem with many open world games for me. Games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins suffer from this in my opinion. And it's not that the games are bad, but sometimes it does feel that they believe a bigger world is better. But I digress. Let's get back on topic. Ghost of Tsushima nails nearly everything it sets out to achieve by paying attention to beautiful environments, providing a hard to master but fun combat system, amazing standoffs, and an excellent score to go with it. But it does have some drawbacks. Okay, so let's talk about story. The story of Ghost of Tsushima is solid. Sure, it can feel oddly paced, especially in Act 1, and that in some part comes with open world games, as it is easy to get distracted with other things like side missions and resource gathering. But even without those distractions, I felt it took me some time to get into the story and actually feel for Jin and the other characters. The story does feel slow in the beginning, and as I played on I realized it feels a little comic booky. I heard other people say it feels like a Batman story, and it really does. Jin basically becomes Batman when he decides to take on the role of the Ghost, which actually is pretty awesome. Seeing Jin break his strict samurai code to become the Ghost is a great evolution, and it definitely made me change my playing style later on in the game, which I didn't expect at all. Through the first half of the game, I basically approached every fighting scenario head on, like a samurai, but eventually I saw myself playing more stealthily, using everything at my disposal to get the advantage over the Mongols, and that was heavily influenced by the story. The different characters in the story, in my opinion, shine much more than the main one, Jin. Lady Masako, Yuna, Kenji, Shimura, all of them are great, and each of their side missions feel a part of the game's progression and main overarching story, which is awesome as well. All the performances are outstanding, with great voice acting complementing them, in both the English.
Jin, you are a samurai.
He died because of me.
And Japanese options.
お前の老いが我が兵を追い回し、獣のごとく八つ咲きにしている。
己らが民に何をした？
心根では分かっておろう。
Overall though, I felt the main story was average and predictable, but it did have some great highs, like the Siege of Yarikawa mission, which had a great combination of gameplay, story, and music as well. It just made it all feel epic.
People of Yarikawa, hunt every Mongol to the last man! Spare no one! For Yarikawa! Yarikawa! Keep after them! No mercy! Kill them all!
Now, let's talk about gameplay. Like I mentioned before, the combat is something I really enjoyed in this game. It's simple, but not to the extent that it became button mashy. It was easy to grasp, yet hard to master, and the inclusion of different enemy types always left it challenging. The standoffs never got old as well. They are always exciting, and when you are able to get a streak going, it feels so satisfying. But that doesn't mean the gameplay is perfect. It does have some drawbacks. The stealth sections, for instance, left much to be desired. I found myself getting frustrated at it at times. Enemy AI in these parts sometimes acted weirdly, and the gameplay felt very basic in these parts. It felt at times the game was telling me, why are you playing like this? Just fight the enemies head on, which I did end up doing most of the time. Leveling up or progressing through the game is simple. Complete missions and side quests and slowly build your status until you achieve the highest one possible, the Ghost. The game also has plenty of skill trees to help upgrade stances, items and abilities. And a lot of these are useful and well integrated into gameplay, but others not so much. I found myself barely using the new skills I learned and just stuck with what I was comfortable with, which was slicing people's arms off. Overall though, the gameplay is solid and is very enjoyable for the most part. It doesn't get repetitive to me and I never get tired of any combat scenario I find myself in. And it's good that the game gives you the choice to approach every situation either head on or stealthily, as being forced into stealth all the time would have been frustrating. This game was just what I was looking for. A big, beautiful, open world filled with things to do. And trust me, there is a lot to do here, apart from the main missions. Like the Mythic Tales, for example. These missions were the highlight for me. The way the myth stories are illustrated and the duels in it all felt epic. There are even haiku events and hot springs that presented a nice change of pace, allowing you to appreciate the beautiful environments along with reflecting on past events in the game.
Feels like I haven't slept in days. If only I had time for a short nap.
You can also use a great photo mode to help you capture these moments as well. And I just need to say, this photo mode is probably the best one in video games I've seen. Ghost of Tsushima is a great game, one that encourages you to explore. Yes, it has a lot in common with many games in the same genre, but it does set itself apart from them with certain elements. The guiding wind is one of them. It was such a brilliant way to navigate to points of interest without the use of a giant pillar of light or marker. So, if it wasn't obvious already, I really like this game, and I would definitely recommend for you to buy it. Sucker Punch has made an excellent game that makes you feel like a samurai. They have done a marvelous job by providing features to make you feel fully immersed in this world. At times, it truly does feel as if you are watching a samurai movie, and features like the Kurosawa mode help accomplish this. Sucker Punch have really outdone themselves with this game.